Every expensive neighborhood in Abuja was once affordable. But the question is, what then changed? How then do they become very expensive? Now, let me walk you through the stages that every growing community goes through right here in Abuja. So today I'm standing in Hutu Exclusive, one of the fastest growing estates right here in Abuja. So let me walk you through the stages that all the expensive areas you know right here in Abuja usually goes through. The first stage is the planning and allocation stage. This is where the government plans a particular place. Remember, Abuja was planned before it was created, which means every single part of Abuja was planned where the infrastructures are going to be, infrastructures like road, bridges, and all of that. That is where the first stage usually starts from, the planning, the government planning, and then the land allocation. So after planning these areas, they now allocate this land to individuals or to estate developers. Once the planning is done, the surveys are conducted, the layout plan is approved, and everything is set in place. The next stage that comes in is the infrastructural stage. This is where all the infrastructures that was laid out to be in that particular area is actually being put in place. And this also happens in estates. You know, before an estate like this will start developing, it means that there was planning that was done on the paper before it actually came out into a beautiful edifice like this. That is how growing communities actually move from one stage to another right here in Abuja. So the first stage, which is planning and land allocation, the second stage is putting these infrastructures that has been put in place on ground. This is where the roads comes in, the drainages are being put in place, amenities are being put in place like schools, hospitals, churches, mosques. Everything that is supposed to be in that area is being put in place. The third stage this is where the developers move in. Now, where all these things has been set in place, developers now move in. This is where real estate developers now go into these areas and buy properties from these particular areas that already has these infrastructures coming in them. This is where they start housing development projects. This is where they start estate projects and lots more. So that is the third stage of every growing community right here in Abuja. Now, when developers move in, the next step, which is the fourth step, is residents begin to move into that particular place. So remember, the planning and allocation has happened, the infrastructures are being put in place, developers now moving to buy properties and build houses. Then the next thing is that individuals start buying these houses to live in or to even carry out their businesses. So this is where there will be demand for houses, there will be demand for lands, and communities will start forming right in that particular place. And this is where the first stage actually comes in. The fifth stage, this is where businesses follows. People that have moved into these areas, they will need markets, they will need schools, they will need malls, they will need hospitals, they will even need a worship center. So this is where businesses like this will now follow. People will start building plazas for malls, building markets, building schools where the children of these residents can attend, building other amenities that makes human living habitable or convenient in that particular area. So once these things are happening, that is how the price of properties in that particular community will keep growing in value. So it starts from the land allocation stage and the planning stage down to where infrastructures stage and down to where developers start going in to buy properties to sell to individuals, down to where residents actually move in, and down to where businesses move in. This is the actual stages that every growing community right here in Abuja actually follows. So as an investor, when is the best time for you to key into any particular area? Identify it when it is in stage 2 or stage 3, because at those stages they are usually very affordable. So at that stage 2, where infrastructures are being put in place, for instance, a particular place, the road is being commissioned, that is the actual time for you to actually key into that area, because definitely right here in Abuja, where government has marked out for infrastructural development, it is usually set to happen. It's certainly been done. So once you identify areas in those stage 2 where infrastructures are being put in place, dive right into those areas and buy properties then. And then identify also when areas are in stage 3. This is where a lot of developers are moving into a particular area because they have identified the infrastructure. Follow the developers at that time and buy into such area, because definitely it is still going to get to stage 4 and stage 5. But once it gets to stage 5, that is where land in such areas becomes very expensive. So if you want to invest in real estate right here in Abuja, you should look for locations that are still in stage 2 or stage 3, because that will be a prime investment you will be making right here in Abuja. And if you want affordable properties that are in these stages right here in Abuja, you can send us a message on the number showing on your screen, and we'll provide you properties that is going to make you a lot of money over time. So until I come to your face again, keep investing in real estate, and I'll see you in the next one.